For almost all of human history, night was not a time for screens. It was the most dangerous and the most important part of the day. Think about what that actually meant. No lights, no walls, no door to lock, just darkness and everything living inside it. Your eyes are terrible at night, but a leopard's eyes are not. For most of our existence, we were not the top of the food chain after sunset. We were the menu. Then, roughly 1 million years ago, something changed everything. We learned to control fire. Some of the earliest solid evidence comes from a cave in South Africa. And fire did something stranger than just keeping us warm. It drew a circle of light on the ground, about 30 feet across. Inside that circle, you were a person. Outside it, you were prey. This isn't ancient theory. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherers found the same pattern today. The people who wander away from the fire at night are the ones predators take, but protection was only half of it. Fire did something no animal had ever done before. It stole time back from the darkness. Before fire, your day ended when the sun did. After fire, humans gained 2 to 4 extra hours every single night. Hours that no longer belong to survival. And that raises the question almost nobody asks. What did we actually do with them? An anthropologist named Polly Wiesner went looking for the answer. She spent years with the Ju-Huansi people of the Kalahari Desert. She did something simple and brilliant. She recorded their conversations. Daytime talk, nighttime talk. Then she compared them. The difference was staggering. In daylight, about 80% of everything said was practical. Who is hunting tomorrow? Where the water moved? Who took more than their share? Complaints, planning, gossip with a purpose. Daytime talk is the talk of getting through the day. But at night, sitting around the fire, 81% of conversation turned into something completely different. Stories, myths, jokes, impressions of people who weren't there, tales about ancestors, spirits, and animals that could speak. Nobody was solving a problem. They were building a world. Wiesner's conclusion is much bigger than it first sounds. Culture, as we know it, was born at the fire, because to tell a story, you have to hold in your mind something that is not in front of you. A person who is dead, a place you've never been, a thing that never existed. That is the entire trick of being human. And we practiced it, night after night, in the dark, for thousands of generations. Every religion, every legend, every song, every film, every book you love. All of it traces back to people sitting in a ring of light, talking after dark. But the night gave us one more thing, and this one we lost, only about 150 years ago. The historian A. Roger E. Kirsch spent years reading hundreds of old diaries, court records, medical texts, and letters. And he noticed something odd hiding in the language. People didn't write about sleep the way we do. They wrote about their first sleep and their second sleep, not a metaphor, a schedule. Before the industrial age, humans slept in 2 shifts. You'd go down not long after dark and sleep for roughly 4 hours. Then you would wake up, not by accident, by design, for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night. And then you'd go back down for a second sleep of about 4 hours until dawn. That gap in the middle had its own culture. People prayed, tended the fire, talked quietly with whoever was beside them, thought about their lives, made love. It even shows up in medical advice. A 16th-century French physician told couples that the time between sleeps was the best moment to conceive a child, because the body was rested. And a physician's manual from the 1500s described those quiet hours as the ideal time for reflection and prayer. Think about that. There was a scheduled, socially normal, universally understood window in the middle of the night for doing nothing but thinking. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Veer wanted to know what human sleep looks like without electricity. So he removed artificial light entirely. Volunteers spent 14 hours a night in complete darkness for a month. Within a few weeks, their sleep quietly split in 2. First sleep, a waking gap. Second sleep, exactly the pattern Kirch found in the old diaries. Their bodies remembered something their culture had forgotten. But the strangest finding was what happened during the waking gap. Their prolactin levels rose, the same hormone that increases during meditation and after orgasm. The volunteers didn't describe it as insomnia. They described it as calm, floating, meditative, a quiet, unhurried state of mind that most of us have simply never experienced. So what destroyed it? Something small and glowing. Artificial light, and especially the blue light from screens, suppresses melatonin, the hormone that tells your body the day is over. And here's the problem: your brain cannot tell the difference between a lamp and the sun. It just registers light and assumes it's still daytime. So you fall asleep late, compress everything into one solid block, and wake up to an alarm that has nothing to do with the sun. But the old rhythm is still in there. When people spend a week without artificial light, camping, no phones, their melatonin starts rising at sunset again, exactly as it did for 100,000 years. And this leads to something worth knowing. If you wake up at 3 in the morning, calm, unable to sleep for an hour, and you panic about being broken, you might not be broken at all. You might be doing exactly what humans did every single night for most of our history. We didn't just lose an hour of sleep, we lost an entire state of consciousness. A quiet room in the middle of the night, between two sleeps, where humans used to sit and think, with nothing to do and nowhere to be. The fire is out, the lights are on, and that room is empty.